Jeannette Sorrell is with us to take us to the coffee house of Johann Sebastian Bach. Maestro, welcome back to Heinz Hall.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Now tell me about this coffee house of Johann Sebastian Bach and the program that you put together for this weekend.
Well, in 18th century Leipzig, where Bach lived, coffee was all the rage, and there were at least 8 different coffee houses in Leipzig at the time. And everybody was going there, so much that the Leipzig Town Council issued all these ordinances that you shouldn't be there past 9 o'clock and women shouldn't be there and this sort of thing. But one of them featured concerts by Bach's student orchestra, which was students from the University of Leipzig. And so Bach would go there once a week, and that was his chance to kind of let his hair down and play lighter, fun music, not sacred cantatas. He mostly played concertos that he had written earlier, and often double concertos so that he could feature his sons or his best students. So we're going to be evoking the atmosphere of this coffee house.
Women are allowed.
Women are allowed, and women went to the coffee house at Bach's time, even though they were not supposed to.
I'll look forward to seeing you there and hearing our double basses, Jeffrey Turner and John Moore, are going to be featured in a Telemann concerto. How did that get onto the program? And tell me about the Telemann.
Well, Telemann was Bach's one of his best friends, and Bach asked him to be the godfather for his second son. So he was a close family friend, and we know that his music was definitely performed at the coffee house. This piece is called the Grillen Symphonie. It's a very unusual and charming piece. How often do you see 2 contrabasses out front playing, soloistic parts? But the word Grillen is usually translated as crickets in modern German. But after I looked at it a little bit, looked into it, I learned that in Bach's time it was often translated to mean whimsical. And so I think that that's probably what Telemann meant. But you can see some crickets in it too. And it's a very playful piece. The third movement is a kind of like folky jam session for basses and flutes and wind instruments, and could be a party of crickets having a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds great. And we have a Bach greatest hit with the Suite Number 2, featuring our principal flute, Lorna McGee.
Yes, and I'm so looking forward to working with Lorna again. When I was here 2 years ago doing the Brandenburgs, doing Brandenburg 4 with Lorna and Noah Bendix-Bagley was such a delight. So Lorna will be featured in this orchestral suite, which is really like a flute concerto, actually. And it's one of Bach's great masterpieces and has been one of my favorite pieces since I was in high school. It'll be fun to tackle it with Pittsburgh Symphony. It's a piece that symphony orchestras don't play so often.
And you have arrived with a harpsichord in tow.
Yes.
What sort of an instrument did you bring with you?
I brought my French double manual harpsichord from Cleveland, where I live. And it is modeled after an early 18th century instrument that's in a museum in Paris.
Where will we hear it? You are getting a solo spotlight.
Yeah, at the top of the second half, I'm playing a couple of solo pieces. The symphony had invited me to play a concerto, but there aren't too many harpsichord concertos that I think really work in a large symphony hall with a symphony orchestra and modern instruments. Brandenburg 5 works, but most of them are really meant for a smaller space. So I'm just playing a couple of solo pieces by myself.
And will you be doing continuo as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Last time you brought a harpsichord guest artist. Will you be doing it this time?
Yes. My colleague Michael Sponzeller is playing the other harpsichord with me.
We heard him last time?
No, we had a different fellow last time.
He came from London, if
Don
I
McKean.
remember.
Yes. Yeah, they're both
But you
wonderful.
work with Michael a lot.
Now and then, yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you divide the responsibilities? We'll hear you playing your instrument when you have the solo. Will you also be doing some continuo work?
Yes. Uh-huh. In certain pieces, I'll be conducting and Mike will play, and then in other pieces, I'll be leading from the harpsichord and doing most of the playing, and Mike will play a little. It kind of depends on how many winds are in each piece and how large the group is.